They are brothers, and there are just the two of them. Nick Meldrum on drums and backing vocals, Lee Meldrum on vocals, guitar and bass. I'm going to talk to Nick on the phone in just a moment after I play you the first of their session tracks that they recorded here in the Radio X session studio just days ago on the 25th of January. And the first of their session tracks has to be the session version of the recent X-Posure big one and the new single which is out at midnight tonight on End of the Trail Records. I'm talking about Reptiles. It is Sons in session on X-Posure Radio X. Absolutely fantastic. That is Sons in session on X-Posure Radio X with the session version of Reptiles, another track from them on the way in just a moment after I speak to Nick from the band on the phone. Hello, Nick.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Very well. How are you and where are you?
Very, very good, yeah. Just in Brighton, down at our manager's house.
Okay, just listening to the radio.
Say that again, John, sorry?
Listening to the radio, I hope.
We certainly are, yeah. I'm with Lee as well, so...
Excellent.
Managed to get on the phone as well.
So,
how you doing, John?
I'm very well, Lee. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
So it's great to have you both in session. And I've said it before many times when I've played the tracks out on the show, but you make one hell of a noise for just two people.
that was pretty much our aim from the start. Try and see how loud we can go. Our ears are starting to burn a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all right. We keep getting asked to turn down when we're playing gigs. And it's strange for a two-piece to have to turn down. It's good.
But you balance it well because it's a tricky business being two people making a lot of noise. But because both of you sing and everything comes through, you know, all the little subtleties, and there are subtleties in there, they still come through.
Well, yeah, with my guitar, I kind of made my guitar myself so that I can have a full-on different bass rather than doing it the other ways that other people do it. And it means that I can make the guitar ring out more, I can make the bass ring out more and stuff like that. So that always comes through a little bit more through what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, obviously you're brothers. Which one's older?
Me, Lee.
Right,
and so, it as well.
and what's the age difference?
got just over about 18 months. Yeah, about 18 months, I think.
Right, so quite close then, really. You could almost be twins, but not quite.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so when did you start playing music together?
Oh, well, we've been playing music together since we were little kids. Basically, our mum bought us both instruments when we were 11. I think Nick was 11. I got my first guitar when I was 13 for my 13th birthday, and then we played together throughout the time, but in bands rather than as a two-piece.
Yeah.
And then we kind of gave up on music for a little while, and then just one day thought, let's just try a two-piece thing. Nick had a little dream, and he said, do you reckon you can make it so a guitar can play bass and guitar at the same time, but not in the same way that other people do it? So we came up with how to do the guitar, what we're doing at the moment and stuff. And I don't think we were even planning on starting again. No, it was never a plan to do music again. We were kind of giving up on it a little bit, and then we had a friend that asked us to play a festival at Ashfest in Essex, and they asked us to play as our old band, but we can get young guys to come and do it with us. So we tried it as a two-piece, did a couple of covers, did a couple of older songs, and it just went down really well. So we kept doing it, and it's just gone from strength to strength to strength, which is really cool. So,
yeah.
And now we're talking to you.
Fantastic. So, how long ago was Ashfest?
About a year and a half ago. Yeah, it was just about a year and a half, just under a year and a half. So it was summer, and then we left it for a while, and we were like, should we try writing some new songs? This was December last year, December 2015. We were like, should we try writing some new songs? So we went in, wrote some songs, and then Reptiles was actually the first song we wrote. And we recorded it in January as a demo, put it out, and then things were like we went through a bit of a rough patch during 2016. I had my jaw broken, which wasn't a good thing at the time. So yeah, it took us out of the game for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then it's been pushing again since then, and you started playing our track for it's amazing.
But it does seem
actually you played. Oh, sorry, John. That's say you played Reptiles as a demo.
I did
last year.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like ages and ages ago since I last played it. Well, not since I last played it, but since I first played it, rather.
Yeah. Well, it was literally our demo. We'd gone into the studio, recorded a demo, just to show people so we could see whether or not there's any point in doing it. And you got given it, and then you played it. It was amazing for us. We were like, wow, that's the first one we've even done. So, and now, a year later, we're being interviewed. It's been released tomorrow.
Yeah, it's good. So things are going well. So a little bit of radio helps,
well, definitely. But
I guess any kind of encouragement is important to anybody doing anything creative. Just something that makes you think, actually, this is worthwhile. We should persevere with this.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's how we felt, because we weren't sure if we were actually going to be doing anything again musically, and then we thought, let's try this out. We did the festival, and it was just as a bit of fun. And then we thought afterwards, we were like, shall we just try writing some songs, see whether or not it's worth it? And then when you picked it up, literally, you picked up the single almost within about 2 weeks of us recording it, and it got played on XFM with you. Radio X, with you. And then we were just like, wow. I think what it is people's reaction to it that's feeding us, which is keeping us going. It's not even released yet. We're releasing it tomorrow, but it seems like everyone's picked up on it, which is really, really nice, and everyone seems to be championing it. So it's very strange to have that happen before sort of even having a release. It was really cool. So we got lots of stuff booked in for the summer, stuff coming up, and obviously we got the second single, which we actually got the second and the third single now recorded and mixed and mastered. So at some point very soon, I think you'll be getting that from us.
Fantastic.
Hopefully you'll champion that as well.
Yeah, brilliant. So are any of those singles the tracks that you've recorded for the session?
Yeah, they are. Our next single is Love Song, a love song which we did for you guys.
Right. Well, I mean, that should be the one I line up next, really, shouldn't it? So when do you hope to release this?
Hopefully about April. We're thinking it's going to be coming out in about April.
Excellent. Okay. And in the meantime,
what about it at the end of April?
Right, okay. And in the meantime, you've got loads of gigs lined up. I mean, you're playing next week. You'll be playing at the Monarch in Camden. Then you've got a festival in Hastings at the end of February. This Feeling in Brighton, Hope and Ruin on the 4th of March. 8th of March, you're supporting the Carnabies at the Monarch in Camden. And then you're going to be playing the Remedy at the Tooting Tram and Social for me, which I'm really excited about.
We're going to do one for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be wicked.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you play. I will be there. I'll be introducing you on stage,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, I can't wait.
It'll be lovely to meet you, buddy.
Yeah, likewise.
Looking forward to that one.
And
I'm amazed that you know more about our gigs than we do.
Well, your manager John is very efficient, and he sent me some information just before the show started.
He keeps us in check.
Yeah, it's good.
From over the room right now.
It's good. I mean, I really want to see that. Your mum must have some photos or footage of the two of you when you're 13 and 11, just starting out playing your instruments. I think it'd be so sweet.
Oh, definitely some photos. There's definitely some photos of us, younger little ones.
Fantastic.
Around and stuff. Yeah, sure. There was a drum kit. We shared a bedroom, so the drum kit was in between our two beds. We used to rock out a lot in the bedroom, and one time I went through Nick's drum kit. So broke my drum kit. Haven't forgotten about it.
Wow.
I owe him a kit at some point. Mind you, I did buy him a guitar the other day. Now you owe me a guitar and a drum kit.
Wow. That's brotherly love for you. No, that's a nice thing. Excellent. I mean, and do you feel part of a scene in Brighton, do you think?
In Brighton, there is a good scene. I think we feel more of a scene with some of the London crowd. Yeah, we've got a good few friends in London now in different bands. Sister Ray is one of the bands we hang out with. Paves, like we're more of a scene in that kind of area rather than Brighton at the moment. But it's because we try not to play too many gigs in our hometown because people get bored of us. Be like, if you keep playing the same gig over and over again, then people won't be coming back. It's nice to go. It's nice to do a show with a lot of people there. So I think if you play too many times and liquidise it too much, not so many people turn up. So we're looking forward to this one in March. This Feeling for Brighton. That's going to be a really good gig. Got a couple of friends bands playing down there as well. So anyone from the Brighton area who wants to come down and see us and catch us, come down for that.
Excellent, that's a good suggestion. Well, I'll go through those dates again as I play more of the session tracks, but I'm going to play the next one now. So, is it Love Song or A Love Song? Which? It is a love song with a question mark, because it's not really a love song. It's about having I wrote it about having to write a love song when you get into a relationship. A girl's always like, "Oh, write me a love song." What's a song about me? It's like, oh, really? Excellent. Well, we'll leave it there, I think. So good to speak to you, Nick and Lee. Thanks so much, and great to have you in session tonight on the show.
Thank you. And we'll see you at the Tooting Social.
Yeah, excellent. And in just a few weeks' time. So here we are then with the second of the session tracks from Sons in tonight's programme. This is A Love Song.
What's that one?
Sounds like a hit to me. That is a love song. It is Sons in Session on X-Posure Radio X, sounding fantastic. And just before that, I was speaking to Lee and Nick from the band. You have Nick on drums and backing vocals, and Lee on vocals, guitar and bass. And the new single, the debut single, Reptiles, is out at midnight tonight. End of the Trail Records. I guess a physical copy. Is there a physical copy? Maybe that's in the shops tomorrow. And loads of gigs to look out for. Quite a few down south. 16th of February, whatever club nights at the Monarch in Camden. 26th of February, Hastings Festival in Hastings. 4th of March, This Feeling, Hope and Ruin in Brighton. 8th of March, supporting the Carnabies at the Monarch in Camden. 17th of March, The Remedy at the Tooting Tramman Social. And then the 1st of April, they'll be at the Verve Bar in Leeds. And 2 more session tracks still to come from Sons in tonight's show. What lovely blokes as well. Tonight's One Night Stand session guests from Brighton. They are brothers Lee and Nick. We've already heard 2 session tracks from them, which sounded amazing. In fact, Eric got in touch. Got to read this out because this is an excellent email. Eric got in touch to say, refused to believe that was a session. It sounded incredible. It certainly did, but it was a session recorded here in the Radio X session studio by the one and only producer and engineer extraordinaire, Chris Denman. He is a living legend, records all our sessions and responds so intuitively and creatively to every band that comes in and does such a great job. He is superb, and I'm going to play another piece of his work now. After I clarify something about Sons, they are Sons, S-O-N-S. Lynn Branson from Little Indie Blogs has been in touch. It was Lynn, indeed, who introduced me to Sons, I'm pretty sure. And she said, just in case people do get confused, might be worth spelling out the name of the band. I agree. S-O-N-S, Sons in Session tonight on X-Posure Radio X. And this is the 3rd of their tracks in tonight's programme. This is Rise.
Don't listen, judge them all.
It is Suns in session on X-Posure Radio X with Rise. Is that going to be the third single? I should have clarified that when I was speaking to them on the phone, but we heard the second single, which will be coming out at the end of April, A Love Song, as the second session track in tonight's show. But that is the third. Their new single, their debut, is released at midnight tonight, and you can get it through End of the Trail Records. Reptiles is what it's called. It is absolutely amazing. And they've got lots of gigs. This day next week, 16th of February, they'll be in London at the Monarch in Camden, whatever club nights. Then 26th of February, Hastings Festival. 4th of March, This Feeling, Hope and Ruin in Brighton, hometown show for them. 8th of March, supporting the Carnabys at the Monarch in Camden. 17th of March, playing as part of the Remedy at the Tooting Tram and Social. It is time for the session tracks from tonight's One Night Stand session guest, Suns. Excellent. Thanks very much to Lee and Nick from Suns for doing the session. Sounding amazing. That is Suns then in session on X-Posure Radio X with Zealot. The last of their 4 tracks in tonight's show. Reptiles, the debut single, has just come out at midnight tonight through End of the Trail Records. And I've clarified the format situation for John Wilson, who was in touch via text. And apparently it's an online only release at the moment, but you can get it from iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play, Stream, Apple Music and Spotify, also on Shazam. And eventually there will be a hard copy on CD and 7-inch vinyl at some point, but not right now. And lots of opportunity to go and see them over the next few weeks, including 16th of February next week, this day next week, at the Monarch in Camden, and then 26th of February in Hastings as the part of the Hastings Festival. This Feeling, Hope and Ruin, Brighton, 4th of March. 8th of March, supporting the Carnabys at the Monarch in Camden, and then 17th of March they'll be playing at the Remedy as at the Tooting Tram and Social, and I'll be there. Looking forward to that very much indeed.